Hello everybody, welcome to this very special ICN interview. I'm your host Megan Biddix, and I'm joined by the former Lieutenant Governor and former President of ICC, Walter Dalton. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. So the majority of our audiences know you as a Lieutenant Governor and a state senator, but what led you to seeking political office?
Well, I think several factors. One, my father had served in the North Carolina Senate. He died when I was 8 years old, but I always remember in the hallway we had a picture of his Senate group, and I was always very proud of that. So that was in my mind, I guess, a little bit. And then in high school, for all 4 years, I served on the student council. When I came back from law school and started practicing law, I was involved in a lot of good community organizations that I wanted to help. Red Cross, Boy Scouts. I helped create the Child Abuse Prevention Society. And because my dad had been in politics, or because I was doing some things in the community, some people asked me to help in some political campaigns. Jamie Clark's congressional race, Lacey Thornburg's race for Attorney General and Governor, Jim Hunt's race for Governor. So in 1996, when this Senate seat was open at that time, the incumbent had retired, I was actually recruited by some of the people out of Raleigh. 3 senators came to visit me that was the leadership of the North Carolina Senate, and said, we'd like for you to run for the Senate. So long story short, I did that and was successful in that first race.
Wow, that's so cool. We kind of covered this in the first one because you gave me such an extensive answer, but were there any other aspects of your early life that affected your later life in politics?
Well, I think all life experiences affect your life if you're in public service. I mean, you're there to do good. You're trying to improve the life of the people that you represent. So practicing law, I had a very eclectic type of practice, so I got to know a lot of people, the different organizations I mentioned. What you need to do is try to learn what are the needs of the people, what will better their life, what will improve their future, and that's what public service is all about. So I was fortunate to be involved in things that helped give me those broader experiences in the community. And so I think when I went to the North Carolina Senate, I kind of knew the things we needed here in this area and across the state, really, that would help improve lives.
Gotcha. So for those of us who are familiar with North Carolina politics, you're very well known for having done a lot with the education in the state. Is there a particular reason why you were so dedicated to furthering the education of North Carolina? Several reasons again, but I think the main thing is education is the key to future prosperity. If you think about it, what education is preparing students for the future and for the future economy. You're preparing the students for those jobs that they're going to hold. So I think that's why education is so important. Also, I had a mother who had been a public school teacher, and my wife had been a public school teacher and served on the local school board. In fact, she was School Board Member of the Year in North Carolina one year. So we were very invested in education, but because it's so important to our future. And I think you can never invest too much in education. You have to invest it wisely. But again, with technology now and everything changing so much, education is a constant process. You're learning even after you get out of school. But schooling gives you the foundation to succeed in the future. Yeah, as I've gotten older, I've realized how important school is. I've always enjoyed school, even as a younger child, but you know, you go into college is hard, and then you know, you get frustrated with it. But as if you step back and look at the bigger picture, I've realized that being able to come to college here and have an education that is affordable, it's been very rewarding, and I'm very excited to go out into the world and use what I've learned in this program. So I'm very thankful for that.
That's very well put.
Yeah.
and being here at isothermal, I think that is the key. One of the best things North Carolina ever did was to create the community college system. North Carolina is the 3rd largest community college system in the nation, but it means it's accessible, it's affordable, and it prepares students for the future and gives them various opportunities. So
yeah, and I think it's needed. It's very much needed to have an affordable form of education, because four-year colleges are very expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very thankful that I've been able to go here and have an affordable way and get in a program that is helping just equip me to do what I want to do in the future. So I'm very thankful for that. So recently, the future of the REACH program had been in doubt, but our county commissioners had decided to fund it, which that's great news. I was very happy to hear that they had decided to do that. And we just discussed this. I understand that you were very influential in starting the early college program. Can you tell us some of the inspiration behind creating the early college system, and can you speak on the value that it still brings to our communities?
Oh, absolutely. I was very involved. I ran the bill. It was called the Innovative Education Act. Governor Easley had put me on something called the Education Task Force, Education First Task Force. And it was a group of legislators, business leaders, private schools, public schools, universities, community colleges, and one of the presentations was on early colleges. And it really impressed me. I thought it would be a good thing for North Carolina. And there were a couple of one-offs that were trying that. I think Greensboro was doing something. That may have been the only place. But the Innovative Education Act gave it a statewide emphasis. And it was not easy to get the bill passed first, but it did okay with that. But then getting college presidents to embrace it, as you know, it's a partnership between the public schools and an institution of higher education, both public and private, 2-year and 4-year. But now I think every community college has at least one early college on it, and they would not give it up for anything. But what it did through the dual enrollment process, but you have to target what you're doing, it accelerates the learning. You're going to get a college degree within 1 year of leaving high school, or you're really not leaving high school, you're in high school. Think about it as kind of a 5-year high school. So you're accelerating the learning. You're getting a degree at least 1 year earlier than you normally would. It ups the rigor because you're expecting more of the students in a shorter period of time. In the long run, that's going to save the state money, and it most definitely will prepare students better for the future economy. So North Carolina became the model, and I think still is the model for the early college program. A lot of states have it now, but I think we have more early colleges than any other state. But the reason we do is they are very successful. And the performance has been very good, and the retention rate is better. The remediation rate is better. Everything has been very successful about it. And so I think they were very wise not to close REACH. And I'm glad to see that survive, and I'm proud of the students that come through there.
Yeah, I know that I know a lot of people, including myself, who were very positively affected by early college. So I was very thankful when I realized that they were still going to continue to fund REACH. So after politics, you became the president of ICC, Isothermal Community College. What do you feel was your greatest accomplishment while you served as the college president?
I don't know that I accomplished anything. It's the staff and the faculty that accomplished it. If I did anything, it was to encourage them to heighten their aspirations and to do not only the best that they could do, but exceed their best and push themselves. And I think that happened. Lorene Smith did a wonderful mentor program here that she presented in Raleigh on that. Kim Wazisco partnered with Dr. Frank Lockwood out of Western Carolina University on an articulation we did that was very unique, and it was nominated, one of the 10 finalists for a Bellwether Award sponsored by Aspen. I know she went to Florida in that regard. We were very proud to be a finalist in that. We put in some new programs trying to address a changing economy with equestrian coming in, and culinary and some other things that would play into that industry. I did seek a lot of different grants for things, and very successful on that. It helped build the science and technology building here. So I look back at it, and Isothermal it's a great family of people, and they do great things. The food pantry was implemented while I was here, and just a lot of things like that. We got through SACs, that was a big deal. But I look back and there's no one particular thing that I could say, yeah, I did that. I mean, it was the faculty and staff. I hope that I helped with that by encouraging them and inspiring them to seek greater heights, because they all did that. And I think Isothermal can be proud of what they've accomplished.
And what does it mean for you to be a part of the Isothermal family, and what are your hopes for the future of the college?
Well, it means a lot because they are family, and they're there to support one another, and they're there to support the students. And that's what's so beautiful, I think, about the community college system as a whole. I think it's more a more hands-on setting with the students, and they get to know the students better than a lot of four-year schools. So I'm very proud to be a part of that family. I still feel that support from them, and anytime I come on campus, it's like old home week, and I enjoy that. As far as the future, I hope Isothermal will continue to serve students as it has in the past. You mentioned reach being at risk. I think anything in education right now needs to be wary that there's some movements going on to try to reconfigure some things in education that may be needed, but I don't think it's needed with the community college system. And again, it's one of the greatest community college systems in the nation, and provides so much opportunity, ties into the economy and workforce development more than any of the four-year schools, in my opinion. So I think the future of Isothermal, I think, is going to be great, and I think the future of this community will depend a lot on the success of Isothermal. So hopefully students will understand what an opportunity they have here, particularly with the Powers Scholarship. I'm proud of actually Martha Jane Powers, who created that scholarship, was a client of mine when I was practicing law. And she was very, very generous in what she did, and it's provided opportunity for so many students. And so students need to understand that if you don't have a scholarship somewhere else, you have to apply for other things like Pell. If you qualify for Pell, use that first. But if you don't get that or qualify for it, then there's the Power Scholarship to help you get through school. And we want you to get through school and get the training that you need to succeed in the future.
Yeah, and I know that I mentioned this before, but I wanted to reiterate, I really am thankful for Isothermal as a community college and just as a whole, because I have had a blast in this program that I'm currently attending. Michael and Carolyn have been amazing professors and teachers, and I've learned so much, and I know that once I graduate and go out into the workforce that I'm going to carry what I've learned here for the rest of my life, and it has been very beneficial to me, just not only as a young adult who's trying to get used to being an adult, but also as a college student. So I'm very appreciative of Isothermal for giving me that opportunity.
I think that's well said. And whatever you do in life, whether it's in this realm or not, this is still going to help you. And we talk about communication skills. Doing what you're doing right now helps with that and gets you more comfortable in front of crowds and things like that. So I wish you the very best, and I wish Isothermal the very, very best for the future. Well,
I really appreciate that, because I like talking to people, but it's hard to step out of your comfort zone. But it's like you said, this kind of forces me to step out of my comfort zone, and I know that this is going to help me in the future and in my career. So I'm very appreciative of that, and to Isothermal, my professors, my classmates, everybody. Family and faith are a big part of your life. Can you tell us how your faith and family have driven you throughout your life?
Well, family is, my wife has been so supportive, and my children too. I think we're a close-knit family, but we are guided by faith. We're members of Spindale United Methodist Church. I grew up in that church, so anyone out there listening, we invite you to Spindale United Methodist Church, and my minister would be glad that I said that, but it is a great church family, and faith is so important. No matter, it keeps you grounded. No matter how great the success is, it humbles you and keeps you grounded. No matter how low the lows, it gives you the strength to get through that. And if I look at faith, I think it is strength. In life, you need something to lean on that gives you that strength, and that can be faith. So we're very fortunate to have the Spindale United Methodist Church. We're very fortunate to have each other, to be so supportive as a family. So thank God for that.
I appreciate you saying that. And thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to come and to let me interview you. I really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us for this special edition of ICN Interviews. I'm your host, Megan Biddix, and we thank Mr. Walter Dalton for coming out and letting me interview him and staying with us for a little while. And we hope that you guys have a great rest of your day.